All right, guys. This is a video that's just going to go over the answers to the four problems you had. Go ahead and pause the video at whenever you need to look at the actual work. I'm going to briefly kind of go through what their work is. So here's the one about the golf balls. Here is finding half of the diameter. So they found the radius of the golf ball is right here. They used the volume formula to find the volume of the cylinder. And this becomes right here, the volume of the cylinder. They already gave you was 11 and 361 thousandths. They set it equal to an equation without knowing the height. So they found the height is 5.080 or 5 and 80 thousandths. And then using that height, they plugged it into the rectangular prism, which had a square base, so the length times width is the same, times the height, which gets you approximately this answer. Here are the work for the golf balls. One golf ball, this is the volume right here, times 3 because there's 3 of them. And then you subtracted that 7.449 from both the cylinder and the prism, and you got the 2 empty spaces of each of the vessels that it comes in. And again, go ahead and please pause the video and look at the work if you need to. Here are the ancient pyramid problems. I'm going to go through each one. Here is the answer to number 1. It's pretty, if you look at the work, pretty self-explanatory. Same thing here. The important thing is knowing that it's the 1/3 and the 2 length and width were both 706, so they just solve for the height. They set up the equation and solve for the height. Here's the answer for number C and number 2 and 2B. Same kind of thing. They're solving for a specific thing here. The square base is a side squared, so they left that as s squared, and at the very end, you took the square root of both sides. Here, just again, plugging the formula in and solving. And for letter B, same thing, except you don't know what the height is, but you do know the volume. So solving for H by multiplying. You can divide by 3 or multiply both sides by 3 to get to the 1/3. And there's your final answer there. These two, I think, were the hardest problems. I'm going to make this bigger. This is a picture of what you should have done with the work of the cone. Here's the original cup. Notice we made a big cone and a smaller cone right here in this little white part right over here. You don't know the height of the smaller cone, so we give that as x, which then makes the bigger cone x plus 4.75, or 4 and 75 hundredths. This proportion right here helps you solve for what x is, and we get that x is about, well, actually, it's 8.63 hundredths repeating. I would store that in my calculator. And now you know what the height of this cone is, and you know what the height of the big cone is. So to find the height of this right here is to find the volume of the larger cone, which is this whole big thing. And you get this answer. Then you find the height of the smaller cone, because now we know the x, which is the height of the smaller cone, and you already knew the radius. Gets you 14.131. And if you subtract them, the big cone minus this white part, you get what's left, which is the volume of the cup, which is about this answer. Last one we pretty much did in class, but just a couple things to remember. If you are converting volumes, you can't just, that's not the same as converting a centimeter into a millimeter. In 1 millimeter, in 1 centimeter, there's actually 10 millimeters, but that's in just the length. If you're dealing with actually converting volume, you have to remember that in a cube, in a volume, if you're converting actually 3 dimensions. So if you convert this, and the height, you're converting times 10 every time, and 10 times 10 times 10 actually gets you a conversion of 1,000. You didn't really have to do this. They converted everything to millimeters. You could have actually made the 11 millimeters into 1.1 centimeters. But again, they found the final answer, which was 142 marbles per centerpiece. The price, 172, which is about 43 bags. And last, no, it would not be cheaper because of the difference. This means the 111 bags would cost her $333. So go ahead and pause this to make sure you see all the different answers. And again, reminder, that in this problem they made everything into millimeters and square millimeters, but you could have absolutely kept this whole problem into square centimeters, which was, I believe it was 252 pi centimeters. But that would not have changed the answers of the final answers of each problem, but it would have changed the actual work. And I think that was it. And again, go ahead back and pause and rewind, or look at each one individually if you need to. But I hope that helps.